Kinzinger and Cheney should be punished?
I don't. I think electoral consequences happen the second Tuesday in November. I think we need to continue to move forward and go from there. I mean, the problem isn't that there's Republicans serving on the committee. The problem is who picked the Republicans and the Republicans that are picked. If they think this is going to get any credibility with 50% of the country, I would actually argue that those two are probably, there's a special level of disdain across the country for those two, as even compared to some of the Democrats on the committee.
Why is there disdain for them? They say, Cheney and Kinzinger, that they want to get to the bottom of what happened. Liz Cheney is more conservative than Kevin McCarthy when it comes to voting records. What's wrong with them wanting to get to the bottom of what happened? Because
when you serve on the committee at the call of the speaker and the minority members aren't allowed to put their own members on the committee, you just completely make this thing partisan and move it forward in a way that I'm just telling you, 50% of the country is not going to take anything going on with it with any credibility whatsoever.
The Jim Jordan and Banks, Congressman Banks, not just according to Speaker Pelosi, but according to Liz Cheney, had said things to make it clear that they didn't believe with the goals of the committee. They didn't, obviously I'm not talking about you, but their things that they had said about, first of all, they had been putting forward the election lie that Donald Trump actually won the election, something that you have not done. That was the reason. But beyond that, Pelosi wanted to keep you on the committee, you and the other two. Congressman Adam Schiff said today it would be appropriate if you were seated. I know it's not your call, but don't you think, just in terms of what's best for the nation, don't you think you could do more good on this committee than off this committee?
I think absolutely what's best for the nation, best for this institution in the short term, and best for this institution in the long term is for the minority members to be able to put their people on a committee. I was on Judiciary with Jim Jordan as ranking member. I serve in the Republican Study Committee with Jim Banks, and they're both, I spent 2 years in Judiciary with Jim and a lot of time with Jim Banks, and they have every right, just like any other member of the minority, to be on this committee.
Right, they have a right to it, but the question is if the purpose of the committee is to get to the truth of what happened, and you have these two members that are constantly spewing these lies about the election, how much can you actually rely on them to be effective members of Congress in terms of the mission of the committee?
So select committees, we populate committees with minority leaders. We get to continue to do this. I serve through this. And just to say that this is a somber, sober affair, you can sell that to other people, but I served on Judiciary and Oversight with members on the other side. And I spent 2 years with them. I spent 2 months in a bunker in a skiff with them. So to say, we can come on here and be all solemn, but this is a partisan town. All committees are partisan, and the members should get to put who they want on there. And that's the way, and that's how it has to be. That's how it always should be. I used to try cases, and you don't get to change the law or change the rules the harder the case gets. If you do those types of things, the function of the building, the function of the institution cease to work.
Yeah, but I guess the question I have, I understand that you don't like this committee, although there was this 50-50 commission that most Republicans voted against, though 35 of them voted for it, and the Senate Republicans killed it. It would have been completely bipartisan, but McCarthy and others voted against that. Don't you think, for the good of the nation, if Pelosi asked you to be on this committee, it would be better for the nation, forget Kevin McCarthy, forget partisan politics, but for the good of the nation if you served on this committee?
No, I think first of all, I don't take positions from the Speaker's office. I take them from our leader and on our side, because that's the way this place works. And I think for the good of the nation, to have any credibility at all, to allow, in a very, very partisan body, to allow the opposing side to pick your team members is just simply never going to work. And I don't think I think it's a terrible mistake, and I think we should continue to move forward, particularly considering I've worked with and been in numerous hearings with members on the other side, and to say that they're not some of their best partisan warriors is just simply not true.
All right, Republican Congressman Kelly Armstrong of North Dakota, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, sir.
Thanks for having me.